Hello everyone. If you haven't watched the first part of this lesson, then I suggest you do that first. We've covered mother, father, brother, sister, son, and daughter in part number 1. Today we'll cover the rest of the family members, starting with cousin. Like we said last time, the Slovene word for cousin is similar to brother or sister, depending on if it's a male or a female cousin. In English, cousin refers to both a male and a female relative, but in Slovene we distinguish between the genders. We said brother is brat, and sister is sestra. Now a male cousin is bratranec, and the female cousin is sestrična. Use the similarity between brother, sister, and cousin to help you remember all the words. Let's continue with the words for uncle and aunt. Uncle is stric, and aunt is teta. Besides denoting the brother or sister of your mother or father, both terms are used when talking to small children to refer to any unknown adult. When children are small, parents use language to interpret the world around them. They use a lot of diminutives, making things appear smaller or less frightening, for example saying doggy instead of dog. Adults don't necessarily become smaller, but they can all turn into aunts and uncles. Another thing came to mind when I was thinking about stric and teta. When we used to play with Legos as children, we referred to the small human Lego figure as a striček. Striček is the diminutive of stric, so literally a small uncle. When searching for striček online, I came across striček Sam as a translation for Uncle Sam, or the personification of the US administration. Apparently, this is how we say Uncle Sam in Slovene. Next up is niece and nephew. Not much to say here. Nephew is nečak, and niece is nečakinja. Let's move on to grandfather and grandmother. Dedek is the most common way of saying grandpa or grandfather, and babica, grandma or grandmother. I mentioned both grandpa and grandma, and grandfather and grandmother as translations because it's not that straightforward. Dedek and babica are the most common translations for grandmother and grandfather, at least in Ljubljana, but again there are other ways of referring to both. We had mami and oči for mom and dad, remember? Grandpa and grandma also both end in an I. Grandpa is dedi, and grandma babi. Finally, notice that in English you refer to your male grandparent as a father and female grandparent as a mother. This isn't the case in dedek and babica, but there is another way of referring to your grandparent where this is very similar in Slovene. Grandfather can also be stari oče, and grandmother stara mama. Star means old, so old father is grandfather and old mother is grandmother. However, pay attention to the stress. Stari oče is grandfather and stari oče an old father. Stara mama is grandmother and stara mama an old mother. So be sure to stress the first word, that is, just pronounce it a bit louder. Let's have a look at a few words that can help you better remember babica and dedek. Besides denoting a family member, babica can refer to a vocation as well. A babica is a midwife or someone that helps give birth. I'm guessing it's because the role of a midwife was traditionally carried out by grandmothers. To better remember dedek, you can remember dedek mraz. Mraz means cold. For example, danes je mraz means it's cold today. Dedek mraz is the Slavic counterpart of Santa Claus. They both bring children presents. However, dedek mraz does so on New Year's Eve. Now, there's another figure that brings children gifts on Christmas Eve, and that's Božiček. Božič means Christmas in Slovene. I wrote the question mark next to Santa Claus because Božiček is Santa Claus in that they both bring gifts on Christmas. However, the historical figure on which Santa Claus is based, Saint Nicholas, is the basis of yet another figure called Miklauš that also brings children gifts, albeit small ones like dried fruit and chocolate on December 6th. Anyway, in Slovenia children get gifts either from Dedek Mraz or Božiček or both. By the way, if you ever need to tell them apart, Dedek Mraz wears white and Božiček wears red. Two interesting words etymologically related to dedek and babica are dedec and baba. Dedec is often shortened to dec in Ljubljana and means a man's man or a real man. Picture a lumberjack with an axe and a long beard. You get the picture. Baba is somewhat similar to the English broad. It can also refer to an old woman. It's derogatory but not really offensive. Basically, dec and baba are both crude ways of saying man and woman, dec having a bit of a positive spin as in a real man, and baba having the possible connotation or meaning of being old, and in general just isn't the nicest way to refer to a woman. However, dec is often used to insult someone as well, by questioning his masculinity with the rhetorical question, what kind of a dec, or real man, are you? Moving on to grandchildren. Grandson is unuk, and granddaughter is unukinja. With grandparents, we had another possibility of using mother and father along with the adjective old, remember? Well, there's no such thing with grandchildren in Slovene, even though in English it's grandson and granddaughter. It's simply unuk and unukinja. Let's quickly go over what we've learned. Mama, mama. Oče, oče. Mami, mami. Oči, oči. Mt, mt. Foter, foter. Sin, sin. Hči, hči. Brat, brat. Sestra, sestra. Bratranec, bratranec. Sestrična, sestrična. Stric, stric. Teta, teta. Nečak, nečak. Nečakinja, nečakinja. Dedek, dedek. Babica, babica. Dedi, dedi. Babi, babi. Stari oče, stari oče. Stara mama, stara mama. Unuk, unuk. Unukinja, unukinja. That's it for the Slovene family. Till next time, good luck, study hard, and aim for the stars.